Hello, Rosalie Arndt, IRC's Education Coordinator in New York City, here with the IRC Youth Tutoring module regarding student service plans, SMART goals, and case notes. This module's objectives have been written in the Tutors Will Be Able To, or TWBAT format. They are as follows. Tutors will be able to identify themselves as a service provider. Tutors will be able to explain the what, why, who, and how of student service plans, SMART goals, and case notes. And tutors will be able to submit an effective case note for each instance of service for each 2T within 24 hours of that date of service. Take a peek at this module's agenda for learning now. We will begin by discussing IRC Youth Tutor as service provider and grounding ourselves in our purpose for this module. Look at the quote on our screen. It reads, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy." Our next quote reads that giving great service requires the right people and the right service tools. We have the right people, and we appreciate you acting as service provider for IRC youth students. Now, let's discuss the service documentation and coordination tools that you will use in this position. Now, let's discuss the what, who, why, and how of student service plans. Each student service plan is a written document that includes accurate student background information, individualized student SMART goals, and case notes documenting ongoing progress that monitors progress regarding each instance of service that is rendered for that student, progress that that student makes toward their individual SMART goals, and also what challenges might arise while students are attempting to make progress toward their individual SMART goals. Why do we create student SMART service plans? Goal setting and progress monitoring is proven to increase student investment and achievement. We also know that SMART goals and service plans can help us to direct our service provision, giving it an aim. Additionally, student service plans, including each of their components, help us to coordinate service provision between multiple service providers, such as the IRC Youth Tutor and also the school success coach. So, who is involved with writing and maintaining the student service plans? While the IRC Youth Tutor does not write any components of the student service plan into our ETO data management system, all of the below are service providers who in some way contribute to each student's service plan at the IRC. These include the IRC program leadership, such as myself, IRC school success coaches, and IRC youth tutors. How will we accomplish this? School success coaches, in particular for the fall 2020 term, will be responsible for writing all SMART goals for IRC students. This is a departure from the system we have used in years past and hopefully will return to when we are back to live programming in spring of 2021. However, IRC youth tutors are responsible for writing and submitting case notes for each provision of service offered. Now, let's discuss one component of student service plans in particular, SMART goals. Inside each student's service plans, each student has individualized SMART goals. What are SMART goals? SMART goals are goals that are aimed at increasing or decreasing the frequency, intensity, and/or duration of a specific behavior that will in turn create more positive outcomes for that student. These goals are created in alignment with what the student says they want and/or need. In order for a goal to be SMART, we utilize the SMART, S-M-A-R-T acronym. S stands for specific. What specifically do you want to do? Which specific behavior do you aim to increase or decrease in frequency, intensity, and duration? The M stands for measurable. How will you know when you've achieved this goal? The A stands for achievable. Is it in your power to accomplish this? The R stands for realistic. Can you realistically achieve this goal based on where you are right now? And the T stands for timely. What exactly is the deadline for achieving this goal? So who, when, and where regarding student SMART goals? School success coaches will write student SMART goals during the fall 2020 term. These SMART goals then will be viewable by IRC youth tutors via the Youth Tutoring Google Classroom. Spreadsheet coming soon. These SMART goals will also be entered by IRC program leadership into the IRC ETO data management system. This, however, is not a system that is accessible by IRC youth tutors. Here is an example SMART goal from previous years. It reads, Ismail will increase his grade in English class from blank to blank by May 16th. This is in reference to May 16th of 2020. And those blanks were filled in with his original starting grade to the grade that we felt represented a 10% increase and therefore a realistic goal. Now, we will discuss the mainstay of service provider responsibility for IRC youth tutors in fall 2020, namely case notes. What, why, who, and how. So what is a case note? Case notes are written documentation of each instance of service provision. Case notes provide ongoing progress monitoring regarding each instance of service provision and what took place, progress that the student made toward their SMART goals, and any challenges that arose towards that progress toward their SMART goal. Why do tutors complete case notes for each student after each instance of service provision at IRC Youth Tutoring? Goal setting and progress monitoring is proven to increase students' investment and achievement. This means that the results of each session of tutoring are not secret, and the case notes are not secret from students, but rather used as an investment tool. Additionally, the case notes and tracking of the case notes cumulatively can help us to direct our service provision for that student on an ongoing basis. Furthermore, case notes help us to coordinate service provision between multiple stakeholders like the IRC youth tutors and the IRC school success coaches. And last, response to intervention, or RTI, is a process by which program leadership looks holistically at all student cases and progress made toward their individual SMART goals. The case notes will help us to note whether they are on track toward their SMART goals or whether they require further supports and further intervention. So who and how do we log case notes? All service providers at the IRC log case notes for each instance of service provided for each student. That includes IRC program leadership, IRC school success coaches, and IRC youth tutors. How? First, youth tutors will log onto their ircny.org account to log each case note. Then go to the IRC Youth Tutors Google Classroom. This is the Google Classroom wherein tutors are logged as students and IRC program leadership are logged as tutors or are logged as teachers. This is the main hub for resources and communication between IRC youth tutoring leadership, program leadership, and tutors. Next, IRC youth tutors should consult the FY21 IRC Student SMART Goals Guidance Note, which is coming soon, and consult the FY21 Youth Tutor Case Note Guidance Note, which is posted on that Youth Tutor Google Classroom. Last, each tutor submit a case note for each student for each instance of service provision within 24 hours of that date of service. Now, we will demonstrate how to do the following steps. Logging onto your ircny.org account, go to the IRC Youth Tutors Google Classroom, consult the FY21 IRC Student SMART Goals spreadsheet, which is coming soon, consult the FY21 Youth Tutor Case Note Guidance Note, and submit a case note for each student for each instance of service provision within 24 hours of that date of service. So here I have logged onto the Google Classroom landing page for my ircny.org account. In the upper left-hand corner, you will notice the IRC Youth Tutors Google Classroom. Once inside the IRC Youth Tutors Google Classroom, navigate to the Classwork tab. Here, you will notice different topics, including tutor HR onboarding, tutor training and professional development, student SMART goals, and student case notes. Notice that the student SMART goals spreadsheet is coming soon so that tutors can consult each student's individual SMART goal before logging their case note for that instance of service provision. Here, where it says student case notes, an ongoing assignment exists. The assignment here, entitled Student Case Notes, reads, complete the following within 24 hours of each date of service. Utilize this form and the format detailed in the FY21 Youth Tutor Case Note Guidance Note to submit a case note for each session of tutoring you provide for each student you tutor. First, let us look into the FY21 Youth Tutor Case Note Guidance Note. Here we notice the full document for the FY21 IRC Youth Tutoring Case Note Guidance Note. This guidance note reads as follows. Case notes. IRC youth tutors must document every client interaction by recording a case note. Case notes are written by tutors into the FY21 Tutor Case Note Google form within 24 hours of the date of service. Thereafter, each case note is reviewed by IRC staff and recorded into the appropriate individual digital student file in our IRC ETO nonprofit data management system. To log each case note, log into your ircny.org account, done, and enter the following information into the FY21 Youth Tutor Case Note Google form. The information is as follows in each case note. First, what is the date of service in reference? Second, the name of your tutee in reference. That's the name of the student. Please include the first name and the last name. Third, the case note body is broken into 3 sections, a beginning, a middle, and an end. In the beginning of the body of your case note, please note the following. Who is present in this interaction, and where is this interaction taking place? For IRC Youth Tutoring in fall 2020, all interactions will take place on Zoom. Who is present in the interaction? Yourself, the tutee, and possibly an IRC Youth Education Program leadership. Why is the interaction taking place? Because the student is likely looking for support with an academic assignment or learning. Here is an example of what the beginning of the body of your case note might read like. I tutored Fatima on Zoom for 1 hour. This was my first time tutoring Fatima. I introduced myself to Fatima and asked what assignment I could help her with. Fatima stated that she wanted support to write and edit a 2-page essay for her global history class. In the middle of each of your case note bodies, include what happened during the interaction of your tutoring. Who else did you encounter during the interaction, if anybody? Here is an example of how this section might read. I guided Fatima to share her essay Google Doc with me on my ircny.org account and also her screen with me via Zoom. I asked her to read her essay to me so far and probed to clarify next steps about what she determined would still be needed to complete the essay. After hearing her ideas, I referenced the 5-paragraph essay construction resource from the IRC Youth Tutoring Google Classroom to support her structural thinking about how to complete her essay. For the remainder of the hour, I coached her to construct grammatically correct sentences in English by writing sentence frames directly into her document and verbally coaching her to fill in those sentence frames with her own ideas and words. Fatima completed and turned in her essay via her school Google Classroom platform. At the end of each body of each case note you write, include information like what follow-up steps are necessary as a result of this interaction. Who will take responsibility for each follow-up step? And when will those follow-up steps be taken? An example might sound like, Fatima stated that she will log on to IRC Tutoring tomorrow because she would like support with another essay for a different class. I recommend using the same 5-paragraph essay construction resource. Insert the link there if available. And written sentence stems to help her write and complete simple and compound sentences in English. After consulting this guidance note, your actual case notes can each be input via this FY21 Youth Tutor Case Note Google form. Notice that this form records your email address automatically if you are logged in to your ircny.org account. Ensure that that is the case. The directions read, utilize this form and the below format, referencing the guidance note, to submit a case note for each session of tutoring you provide for each student you tutor. Here, you have spaces to insert the date of service, the name of the tutee, and your case note, beginning, middle, and end, followed by clicking Submit. Ensure that you are completing each case note within 24 hours of the date of service. IRC program leadership will follow up with you for accountability if you do not turn in your case note within 24 hours. Thank you for your attention. and I hope you've completed the objectives of this module as stated. Tutors will be able to identify themselves as a service provider. Tutors will be able to explain the what, why, who, and how of student service plans, the SMART goals within them, and the case notes within them. Tutors will also be able to submit an effective case note for each instance of service for each tutee within 24 hours of the date of service. This has been Rosalie Arndt, IRC Youth Education Coordinator in New York City with the IRC Youth Tutoring Student Service Plan, SMART Goal, and Case Note Learning Module.